All right. A little bit of a bar. It should be more than that. Wait, maybe it's not close enough. I'm watching you guys and it's kind of funny. I'm laughing. It's like, oh, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. You guys are like junkies. You're like, in 8 minutes, I'll have another pip chip. I'm good to go. What's up, Kid Zion? Welcome, buddy. Made it over to the group. You made it. And of course, the birds haven't made it north in 4 hours, so I just want to let everybody know they're not going to shut up the entire time in chart school. I may have to move them in the hallway. What's the count? Let's see. Let me see here. Right now there is 11 different people in, and there's 63 tickets purchased. I can't actually see a breakdown, unfortunately. Oh wait, maybe. Hold on. No, it just gives me that. That's all I can see. I don't have any pip chips on this account. Obviously, I can't actually acquire them. I can't get them from here, but I could make the pot sweeter though. I think. Hold on. By the way, for some reason, if the stream goes just quiet, it is an absolute downpour right now. Green's black. I don't know. Can you guys see it? Ernest probably has 60 of them. Maybe. Can you guys see the screen or no? Like, I could see it. Green is fine. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was like, hey. See if it works. Oh, I gotta watch an ad. Gotta hate ads. Honestly, so guys, so here's my big dilemma. So I don't know if any of you guys are Cobra Kai fans out there. I started watching it, I guess 2 years ago when Cobra Kai came out on YouTube. You got to watch like the first 3 episodes, and I literally binge watched the first 3 of them in a row. Like I was just like, okay, great. Had to buy YouTube Red. I was like, I gotta have YouTube Red for $10. Yeah, I'll buy it. Don't have to have commercials. So nice thunder. I have 2 different accounts. I have the one that I use for obviously for business, and I have my own personal one. So I have it on my personal one. I can always tell which one I'm logged in under, whether or not there's ads or there's not ads. It drives me crazy. But now, YouTube I think is getting away from streaming like shows or something like that, or original shows. So I think whether Netflix or Hulu is actually picking up Cobra Kai season 3 and maybe beyond that. But now the question is, do I keep YouTube Red, or again, or do I just go back to and deal with the ads again? Absolutely, the ads drive me nuts. I hate the ads. But yeah, so we'll see. Point hit 10. Oops, I gotta do it the other way. Messed it up. See what happens when you can't spell ticket correctly. Yeah, there you go. See, it works. You can buy more than one. James must have typed it wrong. Yeah, so that's the thing. So I feel like I will keep it. Yeah, I feel like I will keep it because, like I said, I can't stand the commercials. Like I instantly oh god, and I instantly transfer across. It just drives me nuts. So, we'll see. I think YouTube wants to beef up their. I don't even know what YouTube TV is. Is that something else I should be watching? I don't know. Like I said, I only got Red for Cobra Kai. Ooh. So I don't know if you guys could hear that thunder, but like I said, for some reason, if it blinks out, it's because I lost power. So if that's the case, if I do lose power, guys, what I'll do is I'll just jump on tomorrow morning before non-farm, and we'll go over if it blinks out. We've had like crazy temperature. We've had like 90-degree temperature the last 2 days. So like, and of course today I finished power washing the deck, and I just bought the paint to seal it and everything like that. So I'm like, yeah, I got this. I'm good. I'm knocking everything on my to-do list. And then it's going to thunderstorm. So, yeah, thunder's rolling over here. Yeah, and then the last couple of days it's been 90. Honestly, Ernest, I actually didn't like Hulu. I had like free access to it for a while, and I wasn't as big a fan of Hulu. I just didn't find enough on there. Like I like binge watching things, but my problem because I've had Netflix. My problem with Netflix is I've watched everything on Netflix, so I'm like in like their redo. Yeah. All right, let's dive into charts before I lose power. All right, so for the most part today, had a bit of dollar weakness, but I wouldn't say that it was as much as it could be for the most part. The unemployment claims number came in just slightly above. I mean, 50,000 people is not that much when you think about the grand scheme of things in the entire United States. So not horrible, but again, definitely, solidified itself under that 2 mil now, right? You can see that the euro was the mover of the day, up 111 pips in the last 24 hours. Pound 53, it's okay, right? Not, definitely about, definitely not a full ATR. It's probably closer to like a half ATR. Dollar yen, once again, back to the 17 pips, right? Dollar Swiss down 63. Okay. Now, again, I'm not surprised by that one. I was expecting more of a move this week with that one. Surprised it didn't go more. Dollar CAD, look at this thing, flat. Man, we had 177 pips 2 days ago, and now we're down to 2 in 24 hours. So talk about kind of crazy and boring all at the same time. Aussie dollar, all right? Aussie dollar up 31, like a quarter of an ATR. So again, not as much movement there. And then euro pound 51, and then pound yen 78. So not a full ATR, probably about 70%. So I did give you guys a warning yesterday that, yeah, the unemployment numbers have been there. Markets move a little bit. But, again, non-farm is kind of the biggie that I think a lot of people are waiting for. So this is what we've seen in the last, 2 months. Is the day before has always been a little bit slower. We just haven't gotten as much movement. Obviously, going into tomorrow, what am I talking about? Again, it's, you guys can see what we had today. This is what we're looking at tomorrow. So we have huge numbers for, the CAD, the unemployment change, unemployment rate going from 13 to 15. And they're saying that, last time it was minus basically 2 million. This time it's supposed to be 500,000 is the employment change. So we'll see. I feel like that one could be a little bit undershooting, but who knows? And then obviously the U.S. non-farm employment change is, down, 7.7. So that's a large number. We'll see. I think more people will be focusing on the unemployment rate. And I think the big question is, are we going to be at 19 or are we going to break 20? Okay. What I find most interesting about this is most of the data that we're seeing right now. I mean, obviously the unemployment rate is high right now because of COVID-19. Businesses shut down, right? I mean, like we shut our own economy down. It wasn't like it was bad management or anything, right? It was interesting to see how this has kind of progressed. Like you guys know what my feeling was from the very beginning. My thing was, yeah, you could flatten this curve, but at what cost? Lengthening COVID-19, closing businesses down could do way more harm than flattening the curve, and we never even pushed the curve, right? Now the question will be is to see where we're at with this. Are we at 19? Are we at 20? Maybe we come in at 17. What does the market do if it's off by 2 percentage points, and what will it start taking to kind of whittle this back down again, back to where it was before? And more importantly, can it get there before the October-November timeframe? I'm still kind of holding out for some type of an election surprise that one of the two, there's a third candidate that just magically comes out of the woodwork or something like that. That is amazing, right? I think if there was a time that it could happen, it would be now to get a third party in the works. But who knows? I mean, who knows at this point? But that's what I'm looking at is that unemployment rate. I just looking at it saying, it's coming at 19.5. Will 19 move the market? Will 18.5 move the market? Will 17 move the market? Will 20, which is only 0.6 above, will that be the market mover? And what will the reaction be? Okay. Now, I expect there won't be much movement before that number comes out. Tomorrow morning, I think it'll get pretty stale after the European Open. And again, how to play it. There's a lot of different ways to play this one. You can play this with indices. You can play it with, commodities. You can play this with the forex market. So, a lot of different ways to play it. All right. Now, looking at the scanner, 15. Oh, now I got to check it now. I'm like, man, what do we... 88 tickets purchased now. James had some before, though. I wish I could see, because the thing is, it doesn't tell me how many people have. So now I'm kind of like, man, how many did Debbie and the Marina have? Because if they steal this with one ticket, it'd be amazing. Lady luck, right? Be kind of funny actually, but I can't see that information. So I think there'll be a lot of fireworks tomorrow. Looking at the scanner today, again, obviously a little bit slower per day, and it's kind of the same situation we had yesterday. Just some things I'm going to point out of here. And again, obviously the euro had a big day today. Yesterday was a little bit more split. Look at the euro basket over here. Everything is more or less up. A little bit of a pullback right now. We're seeing on in the last hour we've seen a pullback. So, we're kind of seeing these pullbacks. Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand, the two at the bottom are more kind of a consolidating sideways. I'm wondering, and looking at 111 again, that's the biggest day that it's pretty much had this week. And again, it's an outlier based off of the other pairs versus the dollar. Like the pound dollar did 50% of that, right? And the pound yen is up. Euro pound is down a little bit, but that's not a direct correlation between the two. So I mean, there is some pound strength. I mean, looking at this pound basket over here, we are seeing strength, right? Even the lower time frames, we are seeing blue arrows up again versus the Aussie and New Zealand. It is obviously more on the downside, right? We are seeing those, and again, those pairs are coming back. Are we going to see a retrace tomorrow? Okay. Minor news in here. This is what we kind of have tomorrow. I mean, Italian retail sales is not really a huge number. Factory orders, So I mean, there's not really a lot to derail it. It's interesting. The question is, are we going to get a retrace based off of what we got today? Maybe. Looking at the CAD basket. So the CAD basket kind of had some weakness, right? The CAD in general had some weakness, right? You're seeing all this blue over here, and these all pairs where the CAD is in the second position, minus the yen, which are slightly up. You can see they moved a little higher. Then obviously dollar CAD is down, but CAD is in the second position. So you can see second position ones are all at the bottom for the most part, minus the New Zealand. I think tomorrow there are going to be some negativity. Playing this one most likely over in the CAD yen, but maybe even something like the CAD Swiss. And the reason I'm saying maybe the CAD Swiss is because the CAD yen is going to be biased at the time of news release tomorrow. Again, obviously the yen based off the indices. So that may give us a little bit of a conflict. So CAD yen may be actually a trade setup to look at tomorrow morning. Aussies, more or less across the board, uptrend setup. The Aussies have they're in an interesting place, right? They're giving us an uptrend setup, but the last 2 days in a row we've been talking about this. They keep poking up into a supply zone and getting hammered back down again. So, yeah, I mean, it's right there. I mean, we're very high in the curve. We keep poking it. I mean, it's like poking the bear. Like, what's it going to take for that big hammer to come down? So, again, they're uptrend setups, but I'm in a position where I'm more bearish than anything else at that point. And again, lower time frames, there was some ways to play that one. What do you mean by secondary position? Right. In a currency pair, there's two, right? So, obviously, the euro basket, the euro is part of their charter. They always have to be in the first position, right? It's always the euro dollar over here, right? So you have your base and your quote pairs. Aussie for the most part is, except the euro Aussie. The dollar kind of flips back and forth, but like basically the yen will never be in the first position. It'll always be in the second position, right? I'm sick of waiting for Aussie to fall. I mean, Ernest, it's right there. I mean, it's right there. It's been 3 touches of that little tiny area. It's trying. It's trying. But see, Ernest, what's going to happen is when you're so tired of it that you look away from it is when it's going to drop like 500 pips in one day. And you're going to miss it by a few pipettes. And then you're going to rage. And it's going to be, it's going to be Will Ferrell all over again talking about his fragile glass, his fragile glass box of emotions or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was, but I thought it was pretty funny. What was it? Now I'm curious. What is it? Yeah, I'm in a glass case of emotion. That's what it was. Yeah. I couldn't help it. I was trying to find Yoda talking about calm, and magically Will Ferrell popped out, so that's why I used that meme. Oh, that was pretty funny. So as far as the majors go, a lot of uptrend setups. Things are turning. Again, it's important to understand where they are on the curve. Because remember, the worst thing you can do is either buy into an area of sellers or short into an area of buyers. Naturally, that feels like the right thing to do. Listen, we're rallying, we're putting an all-time high in. And that's where they always want to buy it when it's, at its most expensive price ever, right? And same thing, after it's dropped all the way down, you've stomached the entire loss at the very, very bottom. That's when you sell. No, but that's when it feels right to sell. It's like, I got to get out before it goes any worse. God, look at it. It's the worst it's ever been. I need to get out now. And it's those type of feelings. Those feel normal, even though it's the exact opposite of what we should be doing. That's kind of where we are with the Aussie right now. Okay, so let's just go right into the charts. Hugh, are you all right over there? I responded back to you, but I don't know what you mean. Hugh sending me like cryptic messages. And I was like, what? What? And then he doesn't respond back to me. He leaves me hanging. He gives me like a one-liner, and I'm like, what? I'm totally confused. And then I ask him for clarification, and then he leaves me. He just ghosts me, guys. doing me that way. He's just ghosting me. Sorry, add family there. Ah, okay. Give me the family card. I see how it is, Q. Leave me hanging on the cliff. And I was like, what? What's wrong? Literally right when I sent the message. It's all right. It's all right. I'll just remove your tickets from the sweatshirt drawing. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I can't even see who's in it. So that's not the case. Ah, he needs. Yeah, absolutely. Taking care of the fires. Old people problems. Oh, man, what a time to be old people, right? But you guys know that COVID is over now, right? I've actually I hate. I mean, I'm not gonna get political on you guys, although you know I don't care if I do. But it's funny seeing like all the people protesting. Oh, the only thing I could look at it in the pictures now is like who's wearing masks. How many people got masks on? And then it was interesting. I saw the counter side today that says wait till next week when there's a huge spike in new infections. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think we've been saying that. And they're like, it's going to be all the police's fault because the police are shooting tear gas where people are coughing and sneezing and crying because of the tear gas, and that's going to infect all those people that are shoulder to shoulder for the last 6-7 days in a row. I was like, okay. I'm like, now we're starting to warp it in many different ways now, right? So now it's going to be the police's fault that COVID-19 after 6 days is going to be they are going to be the new cause. Uh, yeah, the pandemic. Yeah, I don't even know. I wonder why Italy looked. I don't know. Is there anybody alive left in Italy? I mean, I felt like Italians had it pretty bad, singing on their porches and stuff. Could you imagine if we were told we can't leave our house and Italy is open from what I hear? Yeah, I think everybody's open at this point. Like I said, herd mentalities and I mean, everybody was pissed that this we didn't do the stay-at-home order sooner, right? But yet all the people that did not do the stay-at-home order, they're already out. They're free. Everybody's open back up again, and we're still sitting here sitting on our hands. So yeah, it's funny. Like I'm going back through Facebook, and every single one of these person that criticized them for taking too long to do anything, and yeah, and they wonder why I keep a mason jar full. James, you're gonna have to start sending those out, man. We got to figure out how to get those through FedEx. James, wait, hold on. I just thought of this. James, can you label the jars as hand sanitizer? Because obviously it has high alcohol content, just like hand sanitizer. Could you send that as a medical supply? Mm. Yeah, no, I still wouldn't risk it either. Heck no. Yeah, Q, I think you're doing the right thing there, man. I think you're doing the right thing. Because like I said, we do know what population it's worse than. Yeah, the rate is like almost nothing. But there is a definable risk and something that's higher. I mean, you see a lot of the deaths, and it's like, oh. I actually know. Actually, you know this person. You kind of know this person. His basically his wife's grandmother, 90 years old. She's like, "Yep, just found out my mom has COVID, or my grandmother has COVID." And then, obviously like about 10 days later, it's like, "Yep, passed away of COVID in Long Island." And I was like, "Oh God." It's like I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, they're acceptable. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it's bad. But then, at the same time, it's, we're not supposed, everybody knows we're not supposed to go crazy. And then we have these, I don't know. But there's racism in every single country in the entire world. I'm pretty sure that in a month or 2 months from now, I'm pretty sure there will still be racism. Hopefully, there is no COVID-19 at that point. Hopefully, our second wave is not going to hit in July because of everybody's right to protest, Um, you know, yeah, it's crazy. All right, so here's the Aussie that Ernest is so pissed at, just so everybody's on the same page, right? We're way high on the curve. Again, there's really nothing else we can say. I mean, it's approaching, it's sitting inside of a weekly box. It's kind of flirting. It keeps getting really, really close within pips of the daily area there where price has been turned away before. And even if it does hit this zone and go a bit higher, what's it going to run into? There's another one sitting right above it. So it's kind of one of those pairs that it's like you got to just, you got to be focused. And we've had this short position sitting here. Like, listen, if we can break down, take this sucker short, but it won't break. It just keeps going a little bit higher, right? It keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, looking at the time, okay, you guys can see that there was a big spike today right in this area right here. I don't know if you guys know what happened at, well, I mean, it kind of started. We had a spike down here at 8. I don't know. This is the 10 o'clock bounce, right? 10 o'clock spike up and basically retrace back down again. So, I mean, there was still a parabolic kind of position here today in this one. I mean, it's up 27 pips in the last 24 hours. And again, the last hour and a half is kind of pushing back down again. But most of the movement occurred really from this 9 to 10 o'clock candle. But from 9 till about 1, it literally spiked and came right back down almost to the exact origin of the move. So kind of a weird position. Like I said, I still think if we can get, price back down in this level, we should be okay. If you guys remember, we were talking about, hitting this zone. This is where our profit target was, and it literally bounced right off the profit target from last night. Because we were sitting right here last night, and we were talking about it coming down right to this level, and it did. It dinged right off the zone. So, and it dinged it right around news time this morning, and then obviously we reversed on us. So, I would say that I'm still bearish. I don't know. We need about... It needs about 70 pips in the overnight to get back down to that zone before it's kind of possible. Now, the news release tomorrow is not a 10 o'clock news release. It's an 8:30. So, it's an early one. I really don't think we can cover the 72 in the overnight. I think that's what's going to be the problem. So, we may have to be playing a retrace after the news. For some type of a down. I mean, maybe it gives us a level in the middle of the night, and then we rally into that level, or fall in the middle of the night at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning into that zone. That's kind of the best that we're looking at right now, because where it is, again, it's not at the peak, it's not at the trough at the bottom, it's kind of sitting right in the middle. There's a little bit of a zone right below it. It's probably going to have a little bit of a hiccup with that. It's already 9:20. We got 11 hours till the news release. How much can it do in that time frame? I mean, right now, based off of these big candles, the ATR is 24. So even if it continued to push 24, and you can see that it hasn't done 24 in the last 6 or 7, we still got to end up moving. It's still 3-4 hours away, right? And the Aussie market won't be open at that point. So I don't know. I don't think we can do 72 with a pop through. So it may be an early morning kind of position set up on the Aussie. But again, I'm still holding this down here, that if we break this zone, I'm looking to overtake this range. Again, getting in here on this short at, around 68.40 and taking it down to 67.90. Is kind of what I'm looking for, but it's not quite there yet. And then vice versa for the top side. I mean, the top side for me is a bit risky. So, obviously this news could be absolutely horrible. Huge dollar weakness, but unfortunately, I mean, here, look on the 4-hour. I mean, you're sitting inside of that zone. We got it. There's 2 daily zones right on top of it, right stacked on top of each other. So, I don't know. I mean, 60 pips from that zone, 94 from this top one. I mean, how much is non-farm going to be worth tomorrow is what the question is. So, if non-farm payroll comes in kind of as expected, I would be looking to get short this thing. Now, I won't hold a short over the weekend, but I'm going to say, I mean, if we can hold and it's not bad, Sunday night, I'll be looking to short this thing. Once I know that there's no crazy bounces either way, I'll be looking for shorts on Sunday night in the Aussie. Yeah, Aussie yen. You can see Aussie yen did touch it. It came up here and touched this zone and has dropped about 60 pips, right? It dropped about 60. Bring that better. Okay, so you can see that we are there. So about halfway through, okay, on that short. This one has not been as pokey, but obviously we got back up into that same type of 4-hour daily zone that we saw in the Aussie dollar. And it's turning and pushing. Now we'll see what this candle's able to do. This one has 3.5 hours left to go. So it's currently green right now, but we'll see if this flips and continues to push to the downside. The 1 to 3 is in a great position. I think that's an ideal target, right? It's right where this thing popped the candle before. So, I mean, ideal position in this thing. Again, this was a spike up. You guys can see that spike occurred right here at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, again, zone was formed. Again, the indicator drew the zone at 8 o'clock in the morning for news, and it kind of pushed down, and at 10 o'clock. And I wouldn't quite say that this is the perfect example. I mean, it's kind of in a grinding to the downside market, and then all of a sudden, just boom, it exploded up. But based off of how it entered the zone, you had to be thinking short, and it started to retrace and has kind of just, flatlined since that time. So, again, 4-hour setup. Guys are about halfway through. Oh, excuse me. Halfway through that profit target, I'm telling you. What's it called? Pressure washing just wipes me out. It's worse than the cross practice. I don't know if it's because like vibrates like a jackhammer or what, but I don't know. Well, it's not obviously like a jackhammer, but like my hands are like numb afterwards. But I'm telling you, it just wipes me out. So yeah, we're about halfway profit target on this one. Kind of the same thing for tomorrow. I'd kind of see where we're at, a 30-minute. Or 96 from the bottom. I'd say the bottom is probably a bit better than taking longs off of here. Or as tomorrow morning. But this is going to be an overnight thing too. It is old age, man. I'm ancient. I am ancient. That's all right. I'm not allowed to talk about birthdays because my wife turns 30 this year. And she's very upset about it. I was like, 30 wasn't bad at all. I'm like, 30 was fine. Like, 30 didn't affect me in the slightest bit. But I guess 30 as a woman's a big deal. Here's the completion. So last night at chart school, guys, we were sitting right here. Right here at chart school time. We had just kind of gotten that re-entry about an hour after, and we were pushed about halfway through the target. It actually went about kind of where I drew the blue line, where I said we were going to have a little bit of a hiccup, and it went back up and then ended up crashing through. So it has completed fully now, your 1 to 3 target from... We set that up on Tuesday? I don't know. Yeah, I think we originally set that one up Tuesday. No, maybe not. This is the short-term one. The white is from Tuesday. And again, this is the refined target. So it's completed. It's out. It's done now. You guys were able to grab 53 on that one. So not a bad little mover. And again, it did kind of fake you out. Some people may have gotten really nervous. You're like, oh, I'm all the way down here. And it came all the way back up. I mean, it rallied back on you about 30 points. You're like, oh, God, I've given up 30 pips. And ended up moving just fine. Worst case scenario, you got stopped out when it broke above here. And you got... So either way, it was a winner any way you looked at it. Again, we can move on now and kind of... Oops, I don't want to clear all that. So areas that I'd be looking for right now. Obviously, we have a kind of a failure to go higher, right? You got this going right there. Okay. Think. There. Okay. And again, nice little pop. Obviously, it pushes slightly higher, and then boom, next failure is when it hit. You guys can see this one would go there. Actually, that bottom's... Oh, that's fine. It's the top of the green. And that's probably okay. This 1 to 3 being right at this level, there is going to be a little bit of kind of like a warning area right around there. And again, we'll turn this one, yellow for caution because everybody knows what that. And then 1 to 5 is fine. In fact, I think this one you could potentially push all the way back down here. Probably, I think, safely to the 122.50 range. Right, the 122.50 range, I think, is probably safe. That's where that pop occurred. But you could probably take it even a little bit farther than that. That's quite a runner. I mean, this is about 114 pip runner to the downside. But again, watch out for that yellow area. If you're not already short, maybe wait till it pulls back up. This will move tomorrow as well with that non-farm number. But kind of like what we've seen the last couple of nights where we missed this one by an hour, but you guys should already been in. It's been a few hours up there, and you guys should be short this one anyway. All right. Pound yen. So pound yen, as you guys can see, also completed, right? So this is on the hourly. Last night we were sitting right here. Okay. So what did it do? It pulled back just a little bit and then came through and ended up completing it about 8 o'clock this morning is when its final piece kind of hit, right? So this one we were also out. That one for total movement of about 131 pips. Again, another nice big trade. And again, from last night, it ended up dropping down another 60. So a couple days worth of movement, or 2 days worth of targets coming in one. So this was a pretty nice one from where this one kind of bounced. So we're kind of sitting in that same zone right now. Let me move this out of the way so I can get this out. Right, we're still sitting in that same zone. At this point, the zone is just acting as a magnet. Looking at the way that it popped, I would say that I'm probably, probably at this point bearish in the position. Obviously, there's a little bit of a zone sitting right there, right? And again, this is the same kind of, failure to go higher. It came back up, and it's, it pushed down. I would say this was a little bit different in the fact that this one has consolidation in this area right here. We see this area of buyers, the ascending wicks. It came up, it pulled back and kind of stabilized and then popped and came back to that stabilization line, basically right on the line. And now it's kind of at that same level. So, it's also, again, probably a valid trade entry. You're talking about 35 pips worth of risk. So, or 33. So, again, it's the pound yen. You're going to have bigger risk in this one, but it looks like that is, you know, probably shorten this just by a little bit. I think it'd probably be safe to shorten this by do like a 2.8. I think this one will turn on just a little bit before. Pretty, you know, it's not a bad zone. But kind of the same idea. And again, you know, we could stay in that same level. Shorten your risk, make it a little bit smaller if you wanted to. Just a little bit. Use the bottom of this green body. Okay. Looking at pound dollar. So pound dollar. Okay. So we mentioned this one before. We had this zone set up from before. Again, we missed it here once. It came all the way down, came all the way back up, gave us our entry finally, and now this one is currently sitting at about plus 40 pips. So you'd be at, you know, obviously you have your, you know, stop loss at break even at this point. You know, you're getting close. We are about 20 pips from target. So, I mean, you're definitely not losing any money on this one. We missed it the first time, got front run, but again, we did get a, you know, clean entry on this side. And then it's been, you know, not too bad since that time. I would continue it down. Again, that touch bracket, I believe, knockout 6, I believe is what it is. Again, would have been the play on this one. I try to get in the habit of updating these on each. Yeah, knockout 6 is the 26 top side. So again, depending on what your entry would have been, you know, you're approximately, you know, 38, 39, almost 40 pips in a profit on that one. Not too bad, right? And again, we've talked about that one, and again, missed it yesterday. Today came and tagged it. So again, keep short on that one. Euro pound. So Euro pound was the one that I was going that, hey, listen, we got a lot of issues, right? Because the 4 hour is just an absolutely monster size zone, right? We're talking about like 48 pips. And it's like, no. So on an hourly, this is what we have. It's not quite at the top. I would have liked it to have gone a bit higher. Obviously, we got some movement today. We had one position here. So for chart school last night, here's where we are now. Chart school last night, we were sitting right here. Okay, right in this area. Okay, so you can see that actually right here is where we were at this candle. So we did not get, and if you remember me saying this, we did not get entry into this one. We just missed it. Right? It came down and ended up hitting the profit target, came back up, and then came back down again, came up, and then what did it do? It used this zone, it pulled back, and again, I'll go on the third. Came above, we pulled up, it kind of went above again, actually on 15. Up, down, based, came down, and then just continued to go higher. So not perfect, it did go slightly above the zone, but you guys can see how that one worked out. Just missed it here, and again, with Nadex, you would have been fine, you wouldn't have had to worry about anything, and that happened. London Open is where all that kind of kicked in. And right here, this pullback was the 10 o'clock. This big spike right here, this 8 o'clock, and 30 is sitting right here. Okay. So, yeah, a couple different things in this one. Like I said, Euro pound is always going to be a little bit funkier to play. I told you guys last night, after we missed this one here, I wasn't as in love with it. Came back up and ended up going a bit lower. So, right now, I'm really, and again, we're on the 30-minute right now. I'm really waiting till we get to a clean area. There's not a whole lot in this side that I'd be like, yeah, that's great. There's a little one here that's not bad. There's a little one here that's not bad. But again, if you're going to go 95% of the way, just go for the whole 100 up, right? And that puts us back up in 90-44 area. Now, going into a Friday, I don't think we're going to hit it. It would have to be a pretty big spike and some pretty big news. It's about 40 pips away. It'd have to be a really big moving European session. And I think today was the big mover for the European. I don't think we'll get as much tomorrow. All right, but I'd be holding up top there. Now, bottom side, I don't think we can get here either. We're sitting about 60 pips away from the downside. Move this guy right now. Oops. All right, so with that being there, I think either way is probably okay. This was a nice little bounce, and again, it's probably the cleanest thing we have to the downside. There's a little bit of a zone here, obviously, a little bit of a retest here, but this is clean. That's a very clean candle, almost no wicks in that one. Open to close, just straight up in the air. So again, not only news-based, but closed up high. So 90.44, 89.40. Let that one roll. Euro dollar. So euro, we had a couple zones in here. Now this is a pretty interesting one in the 4 hour. So we ended up hitting it and pulling back, and then hitting it and coming back down again. And this one kind of continued up. And this was kind of, again, when it based and turned here, it was kind of like, all right, this zone's going to break. And the question was, would the second one hold? Let me send this. Nope. Because I was like, hey, listen, sometimes just touch brackets are not popping. I don't know why it didn't happen, so that's what I got. Anyway, one thing I mentioned about any type of short position here is we had one level, another level, another level. In this case, there's another level sitting here. Right? There's another little level put in here. Right. Another little level there. Then all of a sudden we got this basing level right here that was able to catapult off of twice. So this level I don't think stood much of a chance because it was like poke, poke, breakthrough, and again it's using it just keeps punching higher. So you know, it's up there. Now, on the daily, you guys can see, we did come up and finally poke that zone. Now, this is, you know, again, 4 hour. I mentioned before that this. There's the daily. And there's that zone that we talked about. So, we are at the top. It's been a very, very fast ascent to this top. So, I would have to say, you know, besides the kind of what I expect is going to be an okay number tomorrow. Again, I can see this one, you know, completely collapse. I'd like to find a short in this position, but it's kind of like, where am I gonna, you know? Where's the entry gonna be? Like I said, this green is a little bit higher, so it's like, I mean, you could take kind of short entries like this, but it's like, you know, very, very, it's too near. I want to get short. I just don't have an entry. It's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys on this one. I think what, you know, looking at this one tomorrow morning is going to be the way to play this one as well. We are. This will be a mover for non-farm. It tends to be a pretty good one for non-farm. We'll see if this week it actually delivers for us or not. Okay. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD will probably have a big day tomorrow. Obviously today it did nothing. 24 hours, this one has moved 7 pips, and you can see it basically stayed within that kind of one range. You're talking about 40 pips, and it literally just kind of channeled sideways and then flatlined over the last couple hours. So, you know, up, down, and this is a 30-minute, basically in the same spot of where we were, okay? We still have that entry a little bit lower down here at 134.07. It just didn't make it. What I would like is if this one in the overnight can drop 90 pips down. That zone's 90 pips away. It's like, yeah, if it could go down 90 pips, that would be cool. That would be cool. At this point, kind of what I think could happen is tomorrow the US data could be worse than expected. This could drop to the downside, or even the CAD news could be better than expected. Give it some CAD strength. This thing drops down, and then we could be looking for a Sunday night open inside of this 30-minute zone for a pop is kind of what, you know, could be kind of something like this right here, and then open up on Sunday down here, and then look for, you know, something up like that. Right? Tomorrow and then Sunday. Okay? Is kind of what I'm thinking of, kind of with the. I just don't think we can move the 90 pips. So again, see if again, we'll see. See what we're in the overnight. I don't really love any of these up. I like this one up top, but again, that's, you know, quite not going there tomorrow. All right. Again. So, dollar yen has been flirting with this zone. Again, this zone we talked about is, I think it's based off of 4 hour. Is it 4? All right, so it just bounced off daily supply. Is kind of what we're going into right now. Up here at this 109.02, and you can see it got close and then pulled back and got close, and now it's pulling away again. Dropping it down to an hourly. I don't even think we could refine this. I remember talking about this level, and it's kind of like, a lot lot of stuff over there. There's lots of drama. Lots of drama in there. So this was, yeah, definitely a bigger one. 4 is as low as it'll go. So, yeah, you'd have to use that zone. About 24. But again, sitting up there, in case you're seeing dollar strength, or this is would be dollar weakness. But again, this pair is typically associated more with the market than the actual itself. So, yeah, I mean, it looks just like the pound dollar did. Kind of the Aussie as well, being high on the curve and running into supply. So I would have to say this one is also kind of bearish. I think this 108.41, if we keep with this entry, I think is probably a good target. This one will whip around news tomorrow morning at 8:30. Just again, if you're taking this position in the overnight, make sure you are covered before the news tomorrow. Make sure that you don't have to take yourself out. Make sure you got a stop loss and make sure you understand what could happen with a really big number. Now, Swiss. Okay, so Swiss did give us some movement. All right, a lot of stuff going on. Remember, we said we had a top trade and a bottom trade in this one. Okay, for the sake of kind of cleaning it up a little bit, let's take the top off, right? Just to kind of clean it up, get some of the lines off. Okay, so we did have a little bit of a drop today. It dropped about 64 pips. We are still about 40 pips, 35 pips from entry on this one. We're looking to get long at 95.19 or 95.20. It's there. I mean, ideally at this point, we're so close to non-farm. I would like us to be in that range before non-farm. I honestly don't think we can hold that if it's a really crappy non-farm number, it's not going to hold. This is based off of a 30-minute zone. But if we are in that zone before non-farm, then yeah, then I'm interested in going. Now, interestingly enough, this one is a touch bracket based pair, so you could trade this one as a touch bracket. Unfortunately, the touch bracket is sitting, or the knockout is literally sitting on the top of the zone. So it doesn't really give us much room, and then there's another one lower. So the way that I play this one tomorrow would most likely be with binaries, something a little bit out of the money, probably 2-3 strikes. Trying to get it between $15 and $25 risk, and then take it off at $60-70 in some type of okay. I would not hold till expiration because I do believe any spike that we get, we will retrace tomorrow. And then again, that just is non-farm is notorious for that. You get a spike up, and then you're out, right? And if you're not out, it whips back on you and you lose. So again, you got to strike quick on a lot of times of these. Yeah. So again, 95.19 is I still think an entry on this one. Looking at the NQ. So NQ, you guys, we drew this level for you guys last night, this 97.20 area. And that's exactly what it did. You guys can see the orange box that it painted in there. We had these drawn. You guys can see it came not only through your 1 to 5 or your 1 to 3, but you're also 1 to 5. And I mentioned that your 1 to 3 was fine. I was okay with that. And then I think we get a little bit of a drama here that it was really, really close, but the way that it was with 2 wicks that I thought we were good, and it did. It went just a little bit lower. So I mean, this was a nice one, going from what 97.20 down to 95.93. So again, that was a pretty nice little mover there, right? Not quite 200, but 100 downside. So again, this was drawn off of a 4-hour zone, right? This red and white was drawn off 4-hour zones 3 days ago, and finally got the trigger. So here was your 1 and came down and bounced off, and there was your 2. So you got 2 out of it if you guys did it. The audio it could be. I mean, we're literally in the middle of a thunderstorm, so it could be cutting out. Maybe. No, I mean, I'm in the middle of a thunderstorm, so it could be me. Could be. Or it could not be. I don't know. Maybe not. No, it's most likely. I mean, it's like crazy thunderstorm here. But yeah, so again, there was your short for today in the NQ. And again, I mentioned that one being super, super high. That's what we're looking for. And you guys can see on the 4-hour. Literally spiked up, grabbed it, and then shot back down to the downside. So there's your NQ trade for the day. I wouldn't say that. So I would be overly short the NQ, but I don't think that. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Where would we get in for an additional short? Wait in the overnight. See what this one looks like. See what this is doing. This one will kind of do a pre-move. Again, news releases at 8:30. Check this one out at like 8:15 in the morning, and it may be giving us a telltale sign of where it thinks it's going. And again, the overnight, it may come down to this zone, which could be a positive, could be a popper, if we are all the way down here, but that's a bit far away. But you never know. You never know. There may be a ton of market movement in the European session in Q prices. But again, I'm a little bit more bearish. If in the morning we have rallied up to either of these two zones, though, I think it's probably worth a short, that one. I know the market likes to end, green, but the media gets paid when it's red. So I feel like the media is running away with things these days. Okay. All right, S&P. So S&P, we were kind of bouncing around that purple level that we had talked about. There was kind of what we had marked before. You can see, guys, there's the hand-drawn level, the pink one right there that we drew. Here, there was the entry, right? We talked about being a failure to go higher. Again, we were in a larger zone. Here was kind of that failure to go higher, right? And all of a sudden it collapsed away and we're just waiting. So, here's the hourly. Here's where current price is, right? Here's where we were last night, right here at this candle. And it was pulled away. We said, hey, listen, if price gets back up there, it's a good trade. Price did get back up there at 10 o'clock this morning. What did I say about 10 o'clock reversals? Most common time for a reversal. This one rallied up with the news. It hit 10 o'clock. It hit the supply zone and turned around and popped all the way back to the downside. So there you go. Another textbook 10 o'clock reversal. There's no other ways to say it. This one was clean. It was a revised zone from a 4-hour zone, which is what the two purples were. Again, we mentioned that, hey, listen, this is an absolutely gigantic zone. We wouldn't be taking that. But if we coincide that with the failure to go higher, again, there was one here. You could have taken it here. And you had two different entry options into this one. Okay? So I would say I am probably going to say the same thing. I think that level is probably good for maybe one more hit, but it depends what it does in the overnight. I would wait to see where this is moving tomorrow morning. And again, in the overnight, the markets may position it, like basically position itself for the news release. So you want to make sure you don't get caught up in that. So again, see if it's pushing into a zone about a half hour before the news release. That would be the way to play it. Again, if we didn't have that, I'd be saying, probably it's probably worth one more short off of this area. Not as good as the last one, but it's probably good for about one more. Okay. So we'll see going into tomorrow. All right. But yeah, there's two for two on the indices, and number 3. We didn't actually have a setup on number 3. we had a bit too much room to run. Problem was we needed Dow to get a little bit higher, and it went up, right? But not what we needed, right? Not what we needed. This one was a bit more sideways. You guys see this? It's a bit more choppy back and forth. Really from, let's see, from here. I mean, we had the low at 8, hit the high at 10, and then came back down to the low again at 3, and then kind of came back up and just stabilized right in the middle. So wouldn't quite say that the Dow is trending, but again, the Dow will be definitely something that is more affected tomorrow than it would have been today. The unemployment number doesn't typically affect the Dow as much, but again, so this one didn't have a trade set up. The other two did. Both of them triggered. Both of them hit full profit targets. I think both of them hit 1 to 5s as well. Yeah, NQ hit 1 to 5, and the S&P. S&P only did 1 to 3, which should have been fine. This one was a little bit more liberal. Okay. Does anyone trade the Dow? YM, yeah, futures people trade the Dow. YM is traded. It's just not traded as much. But yeah, you can trade it. And Mike likes it. Yeah. People trade it. Ernest is like, well, I don't trade it, so that means it's not good. All right, so gold. So gold put a little bit of a rally, a little bit of chop back and forth into this one today, right? There's what it looked like. Okay. You can see, being where we are right here. Magically, and I'm just going to say it again, guys, magically, what time do you think that this clicked in? I know you guys can't see the little thing down here, right? That's telling me the time, but what time do you think this guy, what time do you think that this hit? Yes, if you said 10 o'clock, you would be correct. Again, 10 o'clock reversal into a 30-minute is pretty popular. And again, it happens pretty frequently, right? There's 3 examples so far just tonight on this 10 o'clock reversal. So, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I spent 12 hours today in front of a computer. Listen, if you got an hour and a half a day, log in between, 9 and 2 hours, 9 and 11. 9, I mean, actually, I guess 9:30, right? You could do 9:30 to 10:30 or 9:30 to 11, and you're covering most of the trade setups that happened today based off of 30-minute levels. Yeah, between 10:30. Sometimes it's a little bit late at 11 o'clock. Depending on if there's news or not news. But yeah, there is typically a morning reversal that happens around that time frame. Now, does it happen every day? No, but it happens a lot. I'm like, this is the third example or fourth example today. Yesterday there was a couple as well. So I mean, they happen pretty frequently. All right. So again, if you are limited, you know what you're supposed to look at. So you did get the all right. Good, Sean. Yeah, I remember you saying this one. But yeah, another 10 o'clock turner. So like I said, if you had to plan a time that you had to trade in, it was an hour a day. Pick the window around 10 o'clock, between 10 and 11, or like 9:30 and 10:30. Typically that's where a lot of the best setups are. And the risk, a little of the risk was on this one. Where we are now, again, sideways movement. This, obviously, last time we were up in this area, price was kind of slammed back down again, happened again. I do think there's probably sellers in that zone, right? There's probably selling pressure coming in here at 17.21. Non-farm will move gold, right? Because, again, if things are getting better, again, that could lead to inflation. If the non-farm numbers are not as bad as what people, what the forecasts were, that means the economy is starting to get better again, but the interest rates are still really, really low, which means inflation will suddenly start to creep back in the market, which may the gold buyers get anxious, right? The bulls may step back in the market. So, yeah, I think it looks like there's some sellers, but again, pay attention to what time news hits. And then silver. There you go. Okay, here's silver. Here's where we're at right now. And if we go back, you guys can see that 10 o'clock was right here. Now, this actually ended up hitting it was an hourly zone. Yeah, this one hit the hourly zone. But yes, push down, push down, push down, push down. Here I talked about, hey, listen, guys, there was that target. And again, we talked about this last night, right? Chart school, we were sitting right here at chart school last night. Here's where we are now. Oh, hold on. Here's where we are now. And chart school was happening right here. Okay, what did we say? Well, here's the Harry Potter. It came down, gave us a little bit of white space. Typically, we don't like when it hits this. This is typically a no-no. But it came back up, and again, and gave us the entry again. When we said, hey, listen, there's people down in this yellow. It's already proven that there are people because it turned it around. Came all the way down. It tagged the yellow at the right time. Right? Actually, 10 o'clock on this one is right here. This spike down. There was the first one at 3, which gave us a new level. And again, 10 o'clock. Came down, spiked right into here at 10 o'clock, an hourly level. And then spiked, went right back up again. So, again, Harry Potter trade completed all the way down, came back up, 10 o'clock reversal, and popped all the way back up again. Even if you would use this zone, I think it was still... There we go. Yep. Yeah, you ended up hitting it. It tagged its 1 to 3 as well. So yeah, you even made your 1 to 3 off that zone. So like I said, 10 o'clock reversal. Those are the best ones. There we go. All right. All right. Now, the one trade that I said that I was like, I don't understand this one. It's not moving. What's it doing here? You guys are like, no, it's great today. This one is perfect. It's wonderful. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, we stayed within a little tiny range. Here, I'll make it look like it was crazy, right? But I don't feel like it was that crazy. I feel like oil is very subdued today, right? It's not breaking above highs. It's not breaking about lows. And it's literally staying in the middle. I mean, here. If I'm drawing a box saying, hey, this is the last time I had highs up top, right? Right there. Again, I'm going to change that because I can't stand that color. Right? If I have one there and I say, okay, here's a downside, we're literally kind of sitting inside of that range. And what are we talking about? 35.91 to 37. I mean, today, I saw a move here, and that was it. I mean, this is all sideways, one little track up, and then it kind of pulled back down again about 25% of the way. So I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a crazy day. I mean, I wouldn't say like this is a big day, and even this is a bit more running here, and this is a bit more movements and big candles. I wouldn't say that anything's that big in here. I don't know. Just me. And again, this is a 5-minute. I don't know. Maybe I need to go lower. I mean, if I do 5 minutes, does it look like really crazy on 5 minutes? I mean, maybe. I mean, these are 10 cents apart. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, look at this. There's a lot of wicks, even on the 5 minutes in here. I mean, here's your biggest spike right here, and right here. and the biggest volume candle was right here, is this green one, which is the open and close were exactly the same. And then the other one was right here, which again, the open and close is exactly the same. I don't know. And I feel like it went down, came up, and, you know, I don't know. I don't really see anything that I'd be like, yep, I love oil today. I'm like, I feel like this one, no, not so much. Just not super excited about this one. I mean, nothing in here just comes out and grabs me to where I'm like, yeah, I think that was a great trade. Yeah, good job. Good job. So, sorry, just don't see it in that one, guys. I know you oil traders, some oil traders out there like, you don't know what you're talking about. There was an amazing trade today. It was great. I don't know. I don't see it. I think there's plenty of other opportunities that are much easier to see, and were better opportunities than what we saw in oil today. So, all right, good. Actually, Hugh, I think you were on my side. I think it was everybody else that was like, it's moving, and I'm like, no. Yeah, I think oil was junk today. Like I said, get your money at NQ, S&P, and gold was in there. There's 3 trades. You need more than that? You're doing it wrong, right? Even if you had 2 of those, you're doing fine. Even if you got just 1, that's all you need. But easy ones. I ain't traded for a couple days. Yeah, moving like a sloppy drunk. Yeah. And James, that's probably the best way. Like I said, I haven't been super impressed with oil this week at all. We've had some good ones, but I haven't been super impressed with it this week. So don't blame me, my friend. Don't blame you. So, hey, you Texas guys, I keep hearing all these crazy news stories out of Texas. You guys better stay safe down there. Like people, I don't know. It's kind of like, and I feel like every time with Texas, like you guys, it's like go big or go home. I feel like COVID-19 started, you guys had to go big. I feel like now whatever's happening in Austin, it sounds like all kinds of crap is breaking loose in Austin. I don't know, man. You guys stay safe down there. It takes great skill to move like a sloppy drunk. I know, it's an entire art form, right? Honestly, I haven't heard as much out of Florida. Well, Florida has a different type of crazy. Don't get me wrong. Florida has a different type of crazy, but not like Texas. Texas is like everything here is bigger. So like our protests are going to be bigger. Our COVID numbers are going to be bigger. We practice. Yeah, they practice the amendment. The absolute most random stuff happens in Florida. Yeah, I mean, Florida is like, yeah, I mean, I believe, and again, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I believe most of the, the people of Walmart memes come from Florida. Just saying. Just saying. I love those things. Nothing wrong with it. Not putting anybody down, but I'm pretty sure that's where they come from. But I love them. I hope they don't stop. I lived there for a year, Q, and that was enough for me. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Sunny Isles. COVID cases are going up daily? Yeah. Nah, not surprised. I mean, I don't know. Miami's crazy. You get the beaches open. People are like, yeah, we're free. It's like, okay, whatever. Spring break central. Yep, basically. All right, guys. So, with that being said, that brings us to the top of the hour. Oh, look at this. Come on. We're at 99 tickets purchased. 99 tickets purchased. It's been 3 days we've had this open. We got 12 people in right now. Okay. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Q. I appreciate it. That one gets the secret sauce on there at the end for a win. You guys ready? I'm going to go ahead and close the drawing down. I'll give you guys... if anybody wants to get last minute tickets in, I will give you guys another 2 minutes. And then I will call it quits. Man, Sean's like, bam, you're going to give me 2 minutes? I'm going to drop the hammer on this one. If Wes comes in at the last minute and wins, I give up. I'm not doing giveaways anymore. I got to make it even. Look at that. He made it even. Ryan's like, oh my God, really? Hey, everybody has the same chance. Some people have more chances than others. Yeah. But you never know. Like I said, I think the girls may only have 2 tickets. All right? And there's some, some people that are not subscribed that have put tickets in too. So what I did do on this contest though, to make it fair, was I did say that the first ticket was not free. So everybody had to at least have accumulated some pep chips. So like a random person couldn't come in and just do exclamation point ticket and take a win. So I did try to make it legit, So again, you had to watch the channel a little bit. everything else. Okay. All right. So with that said, I'm going to close it down right now. We are locked at 140 tickets. And like I said, if I was my one ticket, well, I mean, anybody, I mean, James could say, well, I won with my one ticket. I just had many tickets. But it was one ticket that actually was the winner. The rest of them are losers. All right, so as I said before, what this will be for is the stream store. Let's see. It will be for... And due to COVID, it's taking longer than usual. But yes, it will either be for this Pip Chip shirt or sweatshirt, or you can get one of these. And again, it doesn't have to be red. You guys can pick whatever colors you want in here. Although red does look nice, but I like the way that the Pip Chips showed up a little bit better. I think that the logo is kind of squished. I may actually redo the logo and put that up there, but the Pip Chip one is pretty nice too. I think Debbie has this one actually. But yeah, you get the different colors. You guys can pick whatever you want. You guys just have to tell me what you want, whether you want the heather gray, the red, the dark gray, or the white. Again, in Texas, you may not want to do the white. Barbecue sauce and white sweatshirts do not mix, right? And then the other one is the standard just logo. And again, this is the one I have. It actually looks pretty sharp. I like it. Although my logo is like here. Like, why is it on my belly and not high? For some reason, it didn't put it that high. But, you know, there's the heather gray. There's the dark blue. There's the white. And there is the red. So it's whatever you guys want. All right, so here we go. And the winner of tonight's drawing is... God, I really wish... Ooh, you know what? It's going to tell us the percentage chance to win. So we don't know how many tickets the person spent, but we know what their chance of winning was. All right, here we go, guys. In 3, 2... I feel like I have Jeopardy music, but I'd probably get busted for copyright. 3, 2, 1... Oh, look at that. How many did Sean put in? Did Sean just buy like... Yeah, Sean won with... Let's see. Sean had a 35% chance of winning. So I wonder how many tickets Sean had in there. So wait. So if Sean just dropped 35 in there, we had 140? You guys can do the math on that one. He had a 35% chance winning with 140 chips. It's too much math for me at 10 o'clock at night. But you guys can figure out how many things he put in there. You put in 50, Sean? Really? Yes, look at that. Sean carrying it with a 50. Meanwhile, Will is sitting over there with like one of those like goblin or like, you know, one of those like evil, like creepy animals waving their hands together. Be like, I took over the lead. I took over the lead from Ernest. Because again, Ernest put some chips into this one, guys. So this is what happened. Will right now is sitting at home going, I didn't win, but I still won. You know he's sitting over there. And if I could find it, let me see. Can I get like a creepy... Hold on. I'm not going to put it on the channel, but I'll put it like, let's see. Yeah. Oh, I can't find anything. Yeah, you know Will's sitting over there like it's like my precious doing one of those things. And he's like, you know... He's like, I'm in the lead again. Anyway. All right, guys. So, with that said, I'm going to pop on tomorrow morning, probably 7:30. By 8 o'clock, I'll definitely be online. So, if I see it kind of approaching zones, what I will do is I'll post some levels and kind of things that I see tomorrow morning. I'll do my best with it. Obviously, I have the baby that I'll be juggling as well. It's kind of, I can do like 1, 2 things at a time. 3 gets to be a bit hard. But I'll do my best to get on there and see what I can see ahead of time. I'm curious to see. I'd be very interested to see if we get it within any type of near term, like any close knockouts tomorrow morning. I'm going to make sure I have them all up on the charts tonight so I can kind of check them out first thing in the morning pretty quickly. If we can get into a knockout that's really, really cheap, we could get a nice little spike and get something, you know, in the morning. But I'll go ahead and post anything if I see it. Sean, do me a favor. We're ready to take the 3rd spot. I'm telling you, she's creeping up. She's like the silent killer. Yeah. I'm telling you, she is. She's creeping. She's here every night. I'll follow Will. Following Will's... Yeah, Will risk nothing. Kid, thanks for following, buddy. It's good to see you over on this side, not just Discord. Sean, do me a favor. Shoot me a private message with the full name and address. That way I can get the sweatshirt sent out. And I'll send it out tonight or tomorrow, one of the two. Let me know which one of the two, the pip chips or the logo, and then what color you want. And then I'll get it sent out to you tonight or tomorrow. I bought tickets, 1 per night. I'm telling you, Will's got it like, measured. Will is our most conservative. All right, guys. With that said, I'm out of here. Everybody, good trading. Be safe tomorrow with non-farm. And again, I'll do my best to be on first thing in the morning. And if I see anything, I will post it. If not, again, we're all part of a community here. I'm not the only one that can post. If you guys see something for non-farm, please go out there and post it for other people in the group. Make sure you're doing the appropriate channel. If it's a currency trade in the forex part, if it is on any of the commodities, do it there. If it is going to be taken on Nadex, make sure you post it over there. All right, you guys take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow.